All right, guys. Are you guys ready to do a podcast?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're clean on this, so.
Tone would love to have me, but
Are we allowed to be on the
Whoa!
show?
you know what? And I'm
You
gonna double
stop.
down. You would love to have me too, Paul.
Hey, yo, James, don't call him directly. He might cut you out. Call me first, and I'll train you.
Do you smell what the book is cooking?
Yeah, what I like to say is movement fails opportunity when opportunity fails to move.
Good. No. Oh no. What? There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a very unique edition of Gumball Sports Machine. It's our first ever pregame show, and it's special because today is Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Yes, it is between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, and we are here to bring you a little bit of pregame coverage before this series starts. And as always, I am not alone. Got my dog, my OG, my brother. Got Tone. I wish, that was perfect because I wish you were unmuted though.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
Yes. The dog has entered the building. The dog has kicked open the door, and the door has flung open for the said dog. Tony, how are you feeling?
I'm pretty swell on yourself.
Oh, not too bad. Going to the country club later. So
Ooh, shabby.
yeah, hit some golf balls, drink some, what do those people drink? Mimosas?
I think they do that in the morning though. That's a morning
Oh.
beverage.
Oh, is that a morning beverage? Wow, isn't there alcohol in there? Okay, I'm sorry. Getting distracted. Welcome into the show. Again, this is going to be short. It's going to be 30 minutes. Lead you into the game 1 of the NBA Finals. Of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's a great sound, isn't it? Great sound. That is a fantastic sound. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers do begin their series tonight in Oklahoma City, and we are here to talk a little bit about it before we go into the actual series. Tone, looking at this series, obviously you have your Western Conference champions in the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have your Eastern Conference champions in the Indiana Pacers. What are some keys that you are looking for in this series? What are the things that we should be expecting in this series?
I'm expecting Oklahoma to play fantastic defense. They play top tier defense all playoffs, and this is the finals, so they should step it up a little bit. But I'm also looking for Hallie. Hallie's got to be more aggressive on the offensive side if they want to win this series. I think he knows that, and he's prepared, and he's going to go out with a bang. I also think that he knows that this is his chance to make a name for himself, win, lose, or draw. He's the underdog. He's not expected to win this series per se, but he can make a name for himself if he goes out there and balls. And I think he's got a little bit of a grudge or an edge to him because Pascal won that Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm just looking for him to play a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side. And yeah, if OKC wants to continue on the pace that they've been playing at, they just got to play that top tier defense.
Yeah, to that point, I think the Pacers, they're going to have to find out who their number one guy is. You mentioned Pascal Siakam winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. they're going to have to figure out who their guy is. When you need a bucket down the stretch, or when you're having a rough patch, and it's, the Thunder are on some, because they do like to go on their 13-2 runs, 15-8 runs, like those runs. Who's the guy you're going to give the ball to and say, hey, go get us a bucket, bring us back. They're gonna have to find out who that guy is going to be between Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. And the biggest thing to me is they're going to have this is for both teams, Tony. They're going to have to keep the turnovers down. These are two of the best teams in the league in terms of points off of turnovers, and you saw that, and you've seen that throughout the entire playoffs. They're going to have to protect the basketball. Both of these teams are. And to that point, it's going to be a lot of pace. There's going to be a lot of pace in this game. Fast pace, fast breaks. Get out and run. Whether it's out the rim or out the net, the ball is going to be moving very quickly. I think that's going to be one of the keys to this game, or to this series for sure. I think it's definitely going to be a tone setter early in the series.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm definitely interested to see who's going to have more of a defensive effect on the game as far as J-Dub and Naismith. They're both pretty aggressive. I think we can all expect Jay Dort to be the alien of the game. Like, he's just going to do what he does. But J-Dub and Naismith, how they can stop likely Halliburton or slow down Halliburton or SGA is what I'm looking for. And also that big man matchup. You got Chet scoring buckets at the 5 over there, hitting threes, and then you got Miles Turner doing the same. If Miles Turner can show up and get some big buckets to create some more space, and then Hallie and Pascal get to post up on the block. Pascal gets the post and post fade, and Hallie gets the attack and feed the wing. So I'm excited. A lot of people are hating on this finals. A lot of people are saying that this is not good for the NBA.
Those are casual fans. I mean, those are people saying that casual. These are the two teams who deserve to be in the NBA finals, whether they have a big market or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to see some really good basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially doing real fans and new fans a disservice by saying this is not going to be good basketball. OKC's been one of the best teams in basketball for the past 2, maybe 3 years. And then Indiana's been on the rise. They had a solid run last year without their star player. And they played phenomenal basketball throughout the playoffs. I can't wait, man. And this is a battle of two star point guards. I won't give him superstar yet. Although SGA has won MVP, I think he's still a star and not. I mean, when you look at superstar, you're talking about Jokic, you're talking about Giannis, you're talking about LeBron, you're talking about KD, you're talking about Steph. Essentially, those guys have resumes like extended. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even the person Jokic has the shortest resume of them, right?
Yeah. Maybe Giannis, because but
I'm just saying time wise, like time period.
Yeah.
It's just that Jokic has done a lot within that time period, so that's where he fits in there. You know what I'm saying? But so to me, these guys are stars. Like, to me, they're in that circle with Luka and Tatum. I mean, Hallie's at the door. He might not. Some people might not even say he's in the room yet. He's at the door. It's him and AE at the door knocking in like, yo, let us in. You know what I'm saying? Let us in. But those guys, you know what I'm saying? You got Book. You got a couple of guys who are 7, 8 years in who have been cooking there underneath those Kevin Durant. And so this is a battle of two rising superstars to see who's gonna kick that door in and be in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because of how well these two have played, specifically in the playoffs. When you look at Halliburton and when you look at SGA, these guys, in terms of Halliburton, I don't want to say he's carried his team, because Pascal Siakam has been very good, and he's also gotten some really good performances from his other guys, from Neesmith and from TJ McConnell has had his moments, and from Andrew Nembhard, who was very, very good in Game 6. this is going to be like I'm to your point, Tone. I'm so excited for this series just because it's going to be good basketball. Like it's not gonna be like it's gonna be a lot of 3-shot. Yes, that's just today's NBA. But there's going to be defense played. There's going to be energy. There's going to be so much that's going on. And we now, Tone, we are predicting at the end of this pregame show, we are predicting who wins how many games and who wins Finals MVP. And I hope I'm saying his name right. UN Tane, he he's not an OKC fan, but he's got them winning in 5, which is, again, I don't blame you. The way that OKC has been playing, I have no doubt in my mind if they were to win in 5. And he also said he's rooting for Indy. So it'll be interesting to see. I know
that's unique. I just want to shout him out because that's unique. A lot of people are biased when they're going for their team. You know what I'm saying? He's unbiased. He's saying that he's rooting for his guys, but he understands and he's thinking. You know, he's got logic.
Yeah,
respectable man right there. Respectable man.
Oh, 100%, because you don't see that in a lot of NBA fans. You don't see a lot of logic.
Sports fans, period.
That's a great point. That's a fantastic point. So yeah, like I said, we are going to predict who wins how many games and who wins Finals MVP here at the end of the show. But Tone, to you, in your opinion, before I ask you this,
hey,
Untamed might be.
Hold on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Just because you in the chat, my dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
See what you did, Untamed. See what you did?
That's what I'm talking about, Untamed. Come on, God, right there. You see it, Untamed? We here, man. That's my dog. That's my dog. Yeah, hey. Yeah, we are a little bit. That's all right though, man. We can still support JB.
See, now this is the comment I like. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Honest. You know, my team is in the gutter. So you know, as many teams that we can bring with us.
That's
funny.
Know.
Yeah. So, but Tone, in your opinion, man, just for the Thunder, who is the guy? Who's the X factor? Obviously, you're not looking at the stars. Or if you want to, you can. But for me, the X factor is usually the guy that doesn't stand out too much, who could really have an impact on this series. Who is the X factor for the Oklahoma City Thunder in order for them to win this series?
I think that I'd have to agree, honestly, that it's usually the guy that you don't think. Mm-hmm. But for me, this particular series, it's Lu Dort. He's likely going to have to guard Halliburton. And for me, this series, like you said, honestly, you started saying this is about turnovers.
Yeah.
And Halliburton is a top-tier facilitator, playmaker, assist to turnover ratio. You know, he's that guy. And so if you can slow him down and make him actually turn the basketball over, it changes the pace, no pun, of the Pacers gameplay. And it just takes away from his style of gameplay, their style of gameplay, and what he attributes to their success without scoring the basketball. So I truly believe that Lu Dort is going to cause havoc if the OKC Thunder plan on winning this, and it's going to be heavily on his shoulders to slow Hallie down.
Real quick, Untamed. I don't know if we could put this in
you just read it.
Yeah, he's pretty much saying, to paraphrase, Caruso and Lu Dort are going to give Tyrese Halliburton some problems, and I think that's going to be the case. For some of this series, I think Halliburton is good enough to kind of break away off of him and work his way in to be able to affect the game. But for the Thunder, their X factor, Isaiah Hartenstein. Here's why. Now, the lineup that the Pacers run in terms of Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Miles Turner. The thing that stands out to me compared to that Thunder lineup is they are very small. Very small. And so because of that, in terms of the Pacers are very small compared to the Thunder. Isaiah Hartenstein, if he's able to contain, you're not going to stop Siakam. He has performed at a high level in the playoffs when it matters before. He is a champion. But if you are able to contain Pascal Siakam, as well as dominate the boards because you have the size advantage and you have the, I wouldn't even say athletic ability, but just like the size advantage to get the rebounds, that is going to be huge for the Thunder. Because again, if the Pacers get the board, they're not walking the ball up. They're pushing it. They're pushing it. And so if Isaiah Hartenstein is able to get the rebound and slow the game down, because SGA is one of the best half-court players in the association. And so if Isaiah Hartenstein is able to get those boards, slow the game down, play the game at the Thunder's pace, I think that's going to be huge for them. So, and I think now the Thunder want to get out and run as well, but that is the Pacers' game. That's where they thrive. And so if the Thunder and Isaiah Hartenstein are able to slow them down doing that, I think that's going to be huge in favor of the Thunder.
No, I'd have to agree. I mean, when you look at the Indiana Pacers last series against the Knickerbockers, Mitchell Robinson, sorry. I'm mixing up all type of names. Mitchell Robinson and Cat were able to get a lot of offensive rebounds, which would get them into the game, keep them in the game, whatever the case was. But yeah, and so when you do look at the Indiana Pacers, that's something that they kind of slack on is getting those defensive rebounds on the first time. Sometimes you end up getting 2 and 3 offensive rebounds before these dudes get a rebound. And so, yeah, if OKC, like you said, if Hartenstein can take advantage of that, then it gives SGA just, too many opportunities to facilitate or to get a second bucket. And he's not going to miss too many shots. He just doesn't have a lot of bad games.
It's tough. It's tough. And this is where, and one of the points I had earlier and, a few minutes ago, Tone, was the stars need to shine bright. SGA, you can count on him shining bright. He is the undoubtedly number one on that team. Who is the number one guy on this Pacer team? Who is the guy you're going to give the ball to when the Pacers go on a 10-2 run or a 13-3 run or whatever the case is and say, hey, go get us a bucket, calm everybody down, and bring us back into this game? I think they're going to have to figure that out early. I think that's going to be a huge key for the Pacers to even stay competitive in this series. Speaking of the Pacers, Tone, we talk about the X factor for the Thunder. Who is the X factor for the Pacers? The guy that is going to really have a key role on this team in order for Indy to win and or stay competitive in the series?
Yeah, this one's it's interesting, but I'm gonna have to say this same thing that I said honestly for OKC for the Pacers. It's gonna be Naismith. Someone's got to slow SGA down. You've got to make him think twice. You've got to make him uncomfortable. And Naismith is going to guard him, I'd say 70% of the time. So he's got to stay out of foul trouble. And then he's also got to help out on the offensive end, which is going to be difficult for him.
I wasn't sure if you seen it.
Yeah. It's hilarious. I like it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't want to laugh while you was talking, but that was funny.
It's comedy. Rock with him. But nah, yeah, it's definitely got to be Naismith for me. I'd say if I had a secondary option, I'm going with my guy that I picked last series. You know what I'm saying? He came off the bench with that spark. You know what I'm saying? He reminds me of Peyton Pritchard. But
TJ McConnell, man, he can be a problem when he wants to be.
He's a little grimy. And again, like you said, the Pacers are going to have to look for that number one, and it's hard. I think it's a good problem to have when you're having this much success and you still don't know who your number one is, because sometimes the defense is wondering the same thing. They're like, is Pascal going to shoot the ball 30 times tonight? Is Halliburton going to shoot the ball 22 times tonight? We don't know. And so where do we focus? And it's hard to game plan strategically on a defensive end when you don't know. because Naismith could go off for 25.
Yeah.
Nembhard could go off for 20 something. Like, you don't know. Miles Turner could have a great night, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But if TJ can come off the bench and average a good 12 to 15, which he has pretty much done throughout the regular season, and I know the playoffs matter more, so if he can continue that, he can be a little overwhelming for OKC, man. They're gonna, like you said, this is gonna be a great defensive show, but OKC hasn't had to deal with such precision per se. Like,
Yeah.
Indiana, they have turned over the ball in games, but they don't because of Halliburton.
And that's going to be so key, Tone. They're going to have to protect the basketball, and Tyrese Halliburton, as well as TJ McConnell, is going to have a huge part in that. He's going to have a huge part in that. Yeah. Now, before I kind of go off on my tangent about who the X Factor is, I do that. See, this is crazy work. This is great. Hey, Untamed came in here and just what? Hey, no filter. Just see,
He's
that's
untamed.
Untamed. Hey, dog. I appreciate my boy.
I'm just upset that Lloyd Kevin here, because Kevin will be teary-eyed right now.
So I think there's a few, right? I think you mentioned one of them. I think TJ McConnell is going to be very important. The two guys I was in terms of the X factor, I was kind of going back and forth between was Ben Mathurin, because I think Ben Mathurin is going to be I think he's going to be important coming off the bench and providing that scoring threat, that scoring just jolts off the bench. But the guy I decided who I think is going to be the X factor of this series is Andrew Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard. The reason why I say that is because in the starting lineup, he's not going to get the best defender, which is Lou Dort. He's not going to get a big defender, which Isaiah Hartenstein, who's going to be on Siakam. He's going to get probably J-Dub, who is a very, very good defender. He's going to get like one
SGA,
of these other
likely.
And SGA. And if you get SGA, who is the worst defender. Now, this is a very good starting five in terms of defense, but who is the worst defender in the starting five? You are going to have to take advantage because Lou Dort is a fantastic defender. J-Dub is a fantastic defender. You're going to have to take advantage of that matchup, especially if Halliburton is off, if Siakam is off. And the thing with Nembhard, we've seen him perform in the playoffs. We've seen him have big games. Game 6 was a big game. No, he didn't score 35 or 40. But first of all, we've seen him do that before. Secondly, he doesn't need to score 35 or 40 to have an impact on this team. If he's diving on the floor for loose balls, if he's hitting key shots, if he's hitting key threes, and if he's getting buckets in the most important moments of the game, that's how Andrew Nembhard has an impact on this series and on this game 1 specifically. He's going to have to be huge for them. And in terms of that, he's going to have to be that number 3 guy. Aaron Nesmith is fantastic. He had a fantastic game 1. Andrew Nembhard is going to have to be the number 3 guy because he's going to get SGA. Again, probably the worst defender in terms of the starting 5 on the Oklahoma City Thunder team. And if you get that guy, you have to take advantage of that matchup. And as well as wear him out, if you're able to wear him out on the defensive end and make him use a lot more energy on the defensive end and force him to be tired on the offensive end, that also helps you defensively. So I think Andrew Nembhard is going to be the X factor.
What's crazy is because as soon as you said that SGA is like the worst defender on the team or the starting lineup, my antennas went up. And I said, hold on. Because although I would have said the same thing, I'm like, this dude leads the team in steals and blocks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's how fantastic, that's how historically great this year's Oklahoma City Thunder is.
And he's likely the worst defender in their starting 5, but that's also how numbers don't lie. Numbers do lie sometimes because I agree that he's likely the worst defender in their starting lineup, yet he leads their starting lineup in steals and blocks.
Untamed has a few good points. He said that's the thing. OKC is built. OKC is perfectly built for today's NBA as well as the future. This OKC team is not going anywhere anytime soon, especially with a player like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the future that this team could have. Now,
Only
again,
money breaks it up.
you beat me to it. You beat me. The only thing that could break this team up is money. And that's the thing that today's NBA is trying to avoid, is keeping these super teams around, trying to give other teams an opportunity to also go and compete for a championship.
They've got dudes on the bench that deserve more time and can earn more money.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how good this Oklahoma City team is. And on Tam, you also said I only hope is for Indy to keep it close. There's no more of these last 15-minute point comebacks. It's not happening against OKC. That's exactly. I mean, OKC knows how to win. OKC has a closer. They have a closer. Now the Knicks also had a closer, but I at some points it's like I don't know what was happening. I mean, the Knicks were so bad down the stretch, but now the Pacers have also been really, really good down the stretch, whether it was against Cleveland or whether it was against the Knicks.
You need a little luck to win in the playoffs too, and you know, I don't want to just call them lucky, but they had a little luck and they made some big baskets and fantastic timing. The Knicks had some unique turnovers and down the stretch. It was, you know, the certain games could have went either way, and it just happened to go Indiana's way. So as much as I do think Indiana was a better team, it was just, you know, some of those games with the luck of the draw, and then, you know, the basketball gods gave the games to the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, a defining moment in this series was Tyrese Halliburton getting the bounce on a last second shot to force overtime in game one.
That he double dribbled on to run
that he
back
doubled,
out
like, imagine.
And ref didn't call anything. Like, yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So sometimes better be lucky than good. All right, about 2.5 minutes left. Let's go ahead and predict this series, Tone. Who wins? How many games? And who wins Finals MVP? Sorry, I had a brain fart there.
So, yeah, I'd have to say that. Yeah, I agree, bro. I'd have to say that I'm an underdog guy, except for when it comes to the hometown team. I'm an underdog guy, so I would love to see Hallie go out there and show off and come out with a dub, you know, and show the world that he is underrated. You know what I'm saying? Not overrated. But I got SGA in 5 coming out with Finals MVP. I actually have him having at least one of those nights. I think as a team they're gonna be an onslaught. They're just gonna roll them down the hill. I'd say after game 3. I think the Pacers do win maybe game 2, just to fight back. But then OKC, pow, and that's it. Like game 3 is just they win by 20 some points. And yeah, I think they win 3, 4, and 5, and it's over. But yeah, SGA is gonna have one of them getting them 40 and 10 and 12 type of nights. But I can see Chet having a pretty smooth evening and J Dub having a night. So I think OKC, it's gonna be tough to figure out who the Finals MVP is gonna be. But you know, SGA been rolling all year, so I'll likely give it to sure.
Real quick, and you got OKC tonight?
Yes, I got OKC tonight.
I was kind of leaning OKC in 5 too, but I'll be different. I'll go OKC in 6. You know, maybe you know, Indy steals one and OKC and gets another at home.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, man, that'd make for a good series. I got OKC in 6. SGA is the Finals MVP. Untamed also has OKC in 5 with Shai as the Finals MVP. And he also thinks Indy gets one at the crib in game 3. That is going to close out this pregame show for us. Stay tuned for after the game. We will be back reacting to game 1 of the NBA Finals. Oh, also, by the way, I got OKC tonight. We will be back after the game, reacting to the game as well as much more. Enjoy game 1 of the Finals. We'll be back after the game. Stay tuned. And enjoy the game.
Shout out to Untamed.
Hey, shout out Untamed. Hey, my dog. Shout out my boy. He's in the comments the whole show.